Welcome back to NASCAR Nextel Cup Racing on Fox. Caution out for the third time today. Debris down at turn number 3, and now the pits are open. Everybody will head for pit road. Ryan Newman leads our Dodge front runners, who are 1st, 4th, and 6th. And among the quick Dodges, Dick Berggren.
And that's Jeremy Mayfield, who started out in 18th position, but he has been rolling forward. He was 7th when that caution flag came out. Said the car is rolling too much to the right rear to suit him, so they're going to put a little bit more weight in the left rear. Steve Burns.
Brian Newman says his car is just a little bit loose. Chassis adjustment, wedge in the left rear, 2 rounds. Dennis Terry and Joe Payette changed tires. Matt.
Kurt Busch says the car is still both loose and tight. As the 12 is down and out, they're already on the left side of the 8. A chassis adjustment for the 97 is the 8 car. Dale Jr. down and away. He's going to beat the 12 off the road. The 97 is going to pull out around the 9. 97 is going to win the battle off pit road.
And look at this log jam, 2 abreast as they funnel out pit road. Wow.
These guys on pit road are phenomenal. I mean, I challenge anyone to say these guys changing tires in 12, 13 seconds are not athletes.
And the other thing is, Larry, again, I just want to keep talking about the tires. Last year, there would have been some debate about what to do right there. You maybe come get 2, maybe come and not get any. But they've taken the pressure off the crew chiefs with the tire we got now, because it's back like it used to be. Caution comes out after 2 or 3 laps to come and get 4 tires. Not much decision making to be done in the pits right now.
It's easy to be a crew chief here on race day.
Yeah, well,
as long as you can hold 4 fingers up, you're good.
It wasn't, you know, last couple of years we haven't, we've had strategy, but now there's no strategy.
Pit stops complete after this 3rd caution, and Kurt Busch is the leader. His crew gets to celebrate a little bit. Getting set for the green flag, and it waves. To begin lap 59, Morgan Shepherd led a lap under caution, and the 62-year-old driver pits. Surrenders the lead. We're back under green with Kurt Busch out front.
Quick, quick, quick. Turn that surround sound wide open. Let's crank it up. And
Michael Waltrip are both back into the race at lap 61. Pit stop under green for Andy Belmont. Morgan Shepherd about to be inhaled by the leader, Kurt Busch. And Shepherd's green, number 89, goes a lap down. Second place the race.
Seems to be pretty solid behind this second place race right here between Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Casey Kane. Ryan Newman's going to make it a 3-car race, but right behind them, Elliott Sadler in that 38 car. That car has been solid here all weekend long. They're trying to redeem themselves. They felt like at Atlanta, they had a car in happy hour that could win the race. They had an equalized tire at the beginning of the race and never overcame that. Had a terrible run all day long, but a good run here.
Junior's car looks a little bit, Dale Junior's car looks a little bit like it did at Atlanta, where it's pretty fast on these restarts, fades a little bit, but Atlanta, they were able to adjust it up and get it real good at the end of the day. We'll see how it turns out here.
You were looking back from Casey Kane at Elliott Sadler. Ryan Newman there, 3rd place, Kane 4th, Sadler 5th. Then the Chevys of Stewart, Johnson, and Burton. The Dodges of Wallace, McMurray, Mayfield, and Marlin. That's the top dozen. Matt?
Elliott Sadler working on his 4th top 10 Darlington finish in the last 5 races here. He said on lap 2 something he's been saying all day. No grip. They have worked on that. The last stop, they went down on air pressure, all 4 tires, and made a track bar
6th, but to hear him on the radio, you'd think he was having an awful day under caution. He said to crew chief Greg Zipadelli and the team, if you guys have any ideas on what I can do, I'm listening. They're running all over me out here. I can't turn the car, and I can't get into the gas coming off the corner. To try and fix them up, they took some air on the left side tires and took some wedge out.
That's Darlington. That's how everybody's car feels. That's one of those things you just have to deal with. Nobody's car feels good here.
Hey, whose feels pretty good right now, especially through the center of the corners. You see Kurt Busch looking from Dale Earnhardt Jr., the leader right now, wiggle off turn 4. We've been seeing that a lot. But Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s car is so strong right here when they go to pick the throttle up. But they pick the throttle up well before the center of 1 and 2. Then you have to roll back out over in turn 2, pick it up as quick as you can. But he wants to lead back that Budweiser car.
Yeah, and Kurt knows he's having to drive way, way too hard, taking too many chances to keep Junior behind him. So he pulls over and lets him go. I think that's a wise decision right at this point. That was probably directed from the spotter or the crew chief one.
Here's Matt.
Junior made his move going into 3 and 4, and he's telling his crew chief, Tony Uri Sr., that's really been his worst area of the racetrack. He is much better down in 1 and 2, especially off turn 2. That's where they worked a lot in the final practice session to make sure he was the most comfortable, because Junior felt like that's where he's going to have to set people up to make his pass so he can take that lead going down into 3.
I mean, turn 2 is such a huge corner. I mean, it goes forever over there. And if there is, every corner is important, but Darrell, if there is a pretty important corner, it would be turn 2.
I always told the guys, I said, I wish somebody would go over and put a big X on the wall that this is where you make that second hitch. Because you turn into 1, then you go straight for a little while, then you got to make another big left-hand turn to come off a 2. And if you miss it, it's junk. You got to lift out the throttle. But if you hit it, man, you're sailing down that back straightaway.
Next caution, we'll want to show you all the rubber that's been put down already in turn 2, both on the asphalt and on the wall. Morgan Shepherd has taken his John Deere number 89 to the garage. Kurt Busch there in second over Ryan Newman by just a couple of car lengths. Chevy, Ford, Dodge. Casey Kane fourth, Elliott Sadler's Ford in fifth, then the 3 Chevys, Stewart, Johnson, and Burton.
You know, it's so important to qualify up front here. 90% of the races are won from cars that start in the top 15. 80-some% of the races are won from cars that start in the top 5. So starting up front is critical, and you can see why. You're out in clean air, nobody in your way. You get a little gap between you and the guy running second, third, or whatever, and you don't have to force the issue all the time.
You guys talk about qualifying in the top 15. A car I've been watching very closely, Ward Burton in this 0 car right here. He qualified in 13th. And Steve Burns, he always runs well here, and it looks pretty solid today. He's up to 8th.
He sure does, Larry Mack. He's got 2 wins on this tough old racetrack. He said the front end of the car is sliding just a little bit. He's really good coming off of turn 4. But as you guys talked about, he's a little bit tight coming off of turn 2. They made an air pressure adjustment and changed 4 tires on that last stop.
He's got quite a battle right here with Jamie McMurray that's no longer a battle in the 42 car. But Darrell, we talked about it in the beginning. This racetrack got washed down last night. I think now the racetrack is getting back to where it was in happy hour, and I think the more rubber gets down, the worse the car wants to turn.
Yeah, you're starting to see that black kind of glow that the track gets on it once they get rubber down on it, and that just keeps picking up, getting worse and worse, and it will change the setup on the car.
Casey Kane now having a look at Ryan Newman. This is for 3rd place.
Yeah, Kane really gets going on the long runs. That's where that car is so strong.
And I've been watching the score monitor. He by far is running the quickest laps right now of anyone, including our leader, Dale Earnhardt Jr., as he tries to pull the inside of Ryan Newman in the 12. This is where you try to have that give and take right there, but Ryan was able to keep the momentum on the high side.
Yeah, you know, I think if I was Ryan, I would, you see how squirrely he got coming off turn 4. When a guy catches you here, you need to pull over and let him go on the straightaway.
See Casey Kane in the 9, a little bit of braking in the corner right here, feathering that throttle. You can't pick it wide open. The car won't take it all the way out of it right in the middle of turn 2. Finally wide open throttle all the way up on the back stretch.
Casey Kane trailing Newman. They're trailing Kurt Busch, who is 0.8 of a second behind Dale Earnhardt Jr., the leader in the Carolina Dodge Dealers 400.